Me, Ernie. I put it like that. What's up? Only got a little bit of time while my wife's doing her prayers this morning.
Hey, what's going on, brother? Good, good, man. Been
Not
following
much.
you
How
for
you
a
doing,
while
sir?
now. I'm so happy to be in the love. What's going on, man? You just
Glad you could
waking
be
up or
here.
something?
Not really.
Shit,
I've
what
been
you
up
been
since
up to?
5, but we're my house. We'll have to be very quiet because my wife was,
I see, I see.
sleeping or whatever.
So what you gonna do today, man?
So, we're gonna make some muffins together,
Oh,
and
shit.
then I think snuggle and watch
Yeah,
movies
just
after
a
our
chill
chores
little
are
day,
done.
huh?
Yeah.
Gotcha, man. Yo, so question, what with your page, what's like the main aspect of it?
It's
Mm-hmm.
an autism journal. I have autism, so I have a prescription. So I don't know how to explain this. When I don't do these lives, because if you're familiar with video games, a lot of kids be asking, "What game are you
Yeah,
on
yeah.
now?" People always ask me what games I'm on. I used to do this on video games,
Oh,
on
like
servers,
Discords and stuff like that.
across the internet.
Okay, okay.
Yep, exactly. I used to do this all day, every day. It helps with my speech. It helps
Mm.
me communicate things. Because I don't know how to. I have autism, and,
No,
and
yeah, yeah, for
and things
sure. I
happen where
mean,
I
it's always like a cool way to. It's just like an
don't
artistic way to
communicate.
express whatever you're thinking at the time.
Yeah, it's a so back when I was younger, people realized I will not call whatever support things you're supposed to have. I will not communicate the
I
way you're
see.
supposed to communicate because of my autism. So we do because I'm not neurotypical. I do things a little bit different. So um, it's a way for them or
Hmm.
basically psychologists. It's a way for that see the information that I have and go
Oh,
that
okay.
needs to be given out, and you won't give it out. You won't give out. It doesn't matter if it's crime. It doesn't matter if it's my theology, bio science. It doesn't matter what it
Okay.
is. I don't give it out. So they facilitated this, so,
Okay.
communication through technology in me since I was like, I grew up in Cedar Woolley, Washington, this little logging town. My parents were migrant workers, didn't have that much money. We were the first town to have internet, or I mean, the first house in the town to have internet, computers, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they couldn't even pay for the electric bill sometimes, but we had
Mm,
internet and computers because you know people. I don't know. I have information that they consider important, and I go out and I see things. So I'll give you an example. They had me participate uh, in like I don't know what you call it. It's like
hmm.
junior explorers. There you go. A junior explorer, which is like um, I don't know, like a cop assistant. Basically, you get to go out and go drive around with the cops. You get to fill out paperwork like the cops do. You can do all the things they do. So I got to be this junior explorer, and I don't fill out paperwork. Right? I don't fill out paperwork. I do not. I don't do all of the things that's required for that junior explorer program.
Yeah.
I didn't do all the paperwork part of that. But the other stuff, like gathering information. So like, okay, what do we got to do today? They're like, today we're trying to investigate. uh, Literally, they're like, today we're investigating a large string of car break-ins. Right, because stealing
Oh,
radios out of
okay.
cars was big in my town. In the towns that surrounded me. So like this is what we're doing this week. We're starting an investigation. You guys go to school. You guys talk about it.
Oh, wow. And you had
You see
access
what's
to all
going
that
on.
information?
And um, yeah, well, I was, it's Junior Explorer. You go out and they're teaching you how. Oh, that
Yeah,
was
sorry about that, man.
very loud. They teach you how they go out. That's right. They teach you how you go out and talk to people, get the information, gather details and things
So
like
then,
that. So they're telling everybody, oh, keep your eye out. That we went to a place where a car was broken into, and they show you how
oh,
they take fingerprints off of the windows and the
and you
doors,
had all
and
that. That's crazy. As a kid,
they
they gave you
look
that information.
all that stuff. Yeah, well, it wasn't just me. There was part of
Okay.
a program with kids, grow up to be a cop. It's called Junior Explorer. They pick kids that they go, you might make a good cop, or you might make I did
Okay.
Junior Explorer ROTC. So they take kids that go, you might make a good cop when you grow up. You might make a good you might make a police officer. You might make a good soldier. Somebody in the military. You might you have the potential to go into law enforcement,
So
whether it be
so is that what
military,
led you
cop,
into
whatever it is.
joining the armed forces?
Hold on, so I don't get lost in that thing. So, I went out to do my first Junior Explorer thing, and they were working on while I came on. They were working on a large car theft thing, breaking in cars and stuff like that. So they couldn't figure anything out what was going on. They had no idea what was up. And then they just tell you, well, we just kind of go out and ask the people around the neighborhood. So they knock on the neighbors' doors around the cars that were broken into. Did you guys hear anything? Did you see anything? Anybody, kids out here might have seen anything? Yada yada yada. And that was the name of the game. So they did that like 5 or 6 times, and nobody saw anything. Nobody knew anything. Nobody knew what was up. And one of the kids goes, how many times do we just go around and knock on this and ask questions? And it goes, every time. Goes, how many times do you ever catch the people? And the guy's like, we never catch the people. Literally, it's like we go around and ask, do you guys see anything? You hear anything? Anybody know what's up? But we never catch the people. They get away every time. So my thing was, there was a car. It had the radio half stolen out of it. Like somebody came and scared them away. So I asked the officer, can I just take the radio and then walk around like I'm going to sell it? I'll sell the radio like I stole it. And he was like, well, what benefit would that do other than making you look like a fucking criminal, kid? And I'm like, well, first we'll know who's buying the radios, the customers. And, and he was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that might work. So they ended up giving me a bunch of radios out of an evidence locker, like a stack of radios to sell. Literally, they were like 25 radios. So I'm like telling people, I went and stole all these radios and I have radios for sale. So I start selling the radios out of the evidence locker. They gave them to me to do that.
Man.
So then they're obviously they're following me. They're watching me. So I'm selling the radios. Well, then the ring of people who were stealing the radios in the first place reached out to me to recruit me for their own.
From the inside out.
They recruited me. So I went and took the radios. I shouldn't take them. They gave me the radios from the evidence locker. I went and sold them. And then they let me steal one radio. So like you can break into one car without
Wow.
So you can
Of course.
Look like it's
undercover.
Official, you know what I mean? So I stole my mom's boyfriend's radio for his truck.
So you solved the whole radio thieving in your town.
Well, it was the reason they were looking into it because it resulted in a homicide. So I think somebody had come out in the middle of if I remember correctly, somebody had come out in the middle of the break-in or something, and the owner of the bad guys, the thieves, ended up killing one person, and so I ended up. So they let me sell radios out of the evidence locker. They let me steal a radio. I stole my mom's boyfriend's radio. You can act like it was a big deal in my family. They thought it was the funniest shit in the world because the guy was like comes
Yeah, I mean,
'cause I have the help of the police,
it's
but
just like
the guy comes
you
to
would never imagine that being the way to do it, but hey, it got their job done.
yeah. So I ended up getting recruited. I got recruited by the organization that was doing that stuff, and then the police kind of they followed me for, I want to
Wow.
say, 6 months, and then literally there was like it was a huge deal, man. Like they had a help, like because of the homicide or whatever. They weren't sure how things were going to work out, but fucking SWAT team,
Jeez.
helicopters, the whole nine
As a
yards.
kid. Wow, man.
Yeah, yeah. But because I got recruited because I'm very, they have, we have behavioral therapy on how to act and do certain things. Ooh,
Yeah, sorry about that. These kids are
and
awful.
so that's all right. I did a video. A girl calls it masking today, and I'm not sure if that's the new, but they used to call it mimicking.
Yeah, when you mimic somebody.
Mimic other
Yeah.
people. Mm-hmm. They call today it's masking in autism, but back in the day when I was growing
Yeah,
up,
you would mimic somebody.
it was mimicking. So I'm very, yeah, I'm
Okay.
very good at mimicking other people, or other, being, So yeah, I got recruited, and to a criminal organization, and then the problem got fixed in our town, and then I just
Yeah.
moved on from there. They were like, wow, this is really good. So literally, they asked me from that because I'd already called the police on my dad when I was a kid for dealing drugs. So I think about this. My dad sat me in front of TV because I would have meltdowns.
I
I'm
see.
autistic. I was a wild child.
Um,
Wild child. We'd watch these like Chips and all these police shows on TV, and
oh
he'd
yeah,
tell
like
me,
Dateline and everything.
you want to be a good guy like them. Yep, yeah. You want to be a good guy like them. You got to call the cops on the bad guys after you get all the information. Literally. So, and then he'd let me watch him deal drugs. So I called the cops on my dad. He got fucking arrested, and he came. When he came home, he was so pissed.
No, yeah.
I mean, I got the shit beat out of me. But literally, after a week went down, he sat down again and said, "Mijo, I'm so proud of you for calling the cops."
Wow, that's some deep stuff, man.
And it made me feel really, really, really good. And then I don't understand why he did it, but I had my dad arrested like a dozen times for real crime, like real shit, and like he'd get so mad, and then every time after about a week, of him coming home or whatever, things would cool down, he'd say, "Mijo, I'm so proud of you.
At the end of the day,
you did the right thing.
You did the right thing."
If the opportunity presents itself again, I hope you do the same thing. I hope you call the cops on me again.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, as your father, he should be teaching you right from wrong, no matter what.
And he's I would get beat really bad because he'd go to jail, and whatever. And when he'd come home, he'd tell me, I'd get so pissed for like a week though. And after a week would go by, because I won't speak to you, right? You hit me, I'm not going to speak to you. Like I don't he said me down. You did the right thing. I'm so proud of you. You did the right thing. I'm so proud of you. So my dad facilitating that into me, because making it part of my repetition. I have autism, so my dad put that in me to call the cops on things, which landed me in a Junior Explorer program, which landed me in a car theft operation type thing, which then after the car theft thing, they asked me if I could start doing it with drugs.
And then now you're here today, on live, teaching all of us.
Yeah. So then they were like, would you like to try it with marijuana? And I was like, no, you guys have already arrested my dad for marijuana. I don't want to go to jail. You guys are framing me now. Like I was like, you guys are setting me up. And they're like, no. So literally, they had me. There's this guy named Josh Coates in my high school. I mean, this is so long ago, it doesn't even matter anymore. But he thought he'd be a drug dealer. So he started dealing pot in our high school. So that's when the the police department was like, what you did with the car thing, the radios, can you do that? Where's he getting the pot from? Where's it coming from? Who's he getting it from? So like, can you make friends with him? Can you figure out where he's getting his pot? And which he's so lucky. He's so lucky that the cops even wanted to know anything about him because um, he was selling stuff in what somebody else considered their territory.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very promising, especially when it comes to drugs.
No. Yeah, so he was dealing drugs on somebody else's turf, and the other people who claimed that turf sent
Oof.
people to do bad stuff. The only reason he's alive in real life, the only reason he's alive, and like 3 of his friends that were in on
Yeah.
this selling pot at high school, is because the cops wanted to know where they didn't, because he was not. I mean, it wasn't like a lot of pot. He didn't know what he was doing. They could clearly see
I see.
he was just trying to be cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense. He wasn't like a gang. He wasn't like some hardcore drug dealer. He wasn't some big time criminal. He was just trying to be a cool jock. He was on the wrestling team. He was just trying to be someone really, really cool. The people who claimed that area where he decided, you think about a jock not understanding how drugs work. You sell your drugs in your neighborhood where you claim. They'll, everybody has their own home location. You just can't go somewhere and just be like, I'm dealing drugs today.
Yes.
People claim turf, that makes money. And people showed up to like send a message like, this is our area. You don't deal drugs in our area. They showed up to like send the rest of a message using him to be like, this is what happens when you deal drugs on our turf. And
yeah, I mean,
it was bad.
Whenever it comes to legal shit like that and money, it's always gonna be bad. Yeah, man. Well, just one last question before I let you go, because I remember hearing about you off of a YouTube video that I watched, and it was about you speaking about that guy. Huh?
We're not talking about it.
It was the guy about
What guy?
It was a YouTube video about. It was a YouTube video about you, and about the guy that killed, I think, his family or something. And that's how I first heard about you. But I started watching your Instagram, and it just interests me because it wasn't just bullshit. Like it kind of made more sense to me. I don't know, man. But hey, man, I'm gonna let you go. All right. It was fucking crazy talking to you, man. God bless, brother.
Thanks for coming on.
All right, man.
What is I got this on? I'm glad he asked that. I stole my mom's boyfriend's radio out of his truck because I didn't want her dating him. I didn't like him. So when they let I picked somebody that because you can't mess with adults. You know what I mean? I was a kid, so I picked my mom's boyfriend.
I'm doing good, man.
But anyways, how you doing?
Chilling here on my dog. Just wondering, how you been, bro?
I'm doing. I feel like I'm in a simulation. I feel like I've done all this before.
Do you think this is like some Matrix shit for real?
Well, I have autism, so I do repeat things anyways. But you can think about Matrix, Mantrix, information hidden in plain sight. Are you recognizing the Mantrix? Well, I can't tell you. Some organizations, we can't tell you people are playing tricks on you. We're just going to say, call it a matrix. You wake up in the morning and you eat breakfast, but breakfast is literally named breakfast because you're breaking fast. What fast? The fast that removes toxins and damaged cells out of your body so you don't get cancer. So you can repair your body. You stop the first thing you do in the morning is stop your body from removing cancer. you know, and you think, okay, matrix. You're like, is this really a matrix? So the first thing we do in the morning is put sugar in our system that stops us from removing cancerous cells. And then we're being taught you should probably have a whole pack of licorice before you go to bed. You should actually pump your body full of sugar before you sleep, so your body has the worst chance of preventing cancer.
You think is anyone out there that's like a Morpheus trying to help pull you out?
I don't know. I don't know. People always call me Morpheus.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was gonna call you the one. You're Neo.
What? Yeah. So I get called the one or the Morpheus. You know, it depends on how. So like first like in the like literally people like you're like Morpheus, man. You woke me up to this psychological operations and yada yada yada. Like I didn't even you woke me up. You cured my blindness.
Right.
I can see things I never saw before. And then I'm like, well now that makes you the one. Like, well, yeah, before I can be your one, I'd have to pull you out of something so you could recognize things.
No, yeah. I just thought it was crazy. Because sometimes, yeah, it does feel like a little simulation, but I don't know.
No, yeah, I feel like I'm in a massive simulation. And I think about these comments. People are like, it's okay to have psychosis and get help, Martin. The world is a very interesting place. Like I'm doing these live streams with you. My entire life, I've live streamed everything that happens in my life on the internet, and this is like people are freaking. I don't think they're. I think people are like you're talking about waking up from the. People are starting to wake, going, "Oh my God, look what Martin's doing on Instagram." Yeah, people are like, "Look what Martin's doing on Instagram," and then and then their kids are going, "What's the big deal? He did this on Xbox. He did this on PlayStation. He did this on a Ventrilo server. He's been doing this on Discord." Martin has been streaming everything that happens in his life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Damn. That's crazy.
Since the 90s. Since the 90s.
Wait, Martin, can you tell me about that body of light, that Israelite?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, what religion are you?
I guess I'm a Christian.
Okay, so Christians, they have the Israelites.
Okay. Yeah.
Israelites, right? So, in the original information used to create Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, or what we call Abrahamic religions, there's this link, there's this information that says every human on the planet is one tribe of light and a singular tribe of God that should rule the world over all other earthly creatures. Okay. Right? So over dogs, over fish, over dolphins, mankind should rule the world over all of the other earthly creatures. Somewhere in there, people take that and they know, well, these people can't read this stuff. Let's just say I'm the tribe of the Israelites and I'm supposed to rule the world
then
over
make
all
a
other men.
King's version of the Bible.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So in physics, we know you're made of light, right? Your body is built out of the food you eat that came from light, right? Light turns into food. You eat it, your digestive system takes that food, breaks it back down into light, and then builds your flesh out of it. Correct? Right? So, and all of the stuff we have in life comes from the light of the world or the electromagnetic spectrum,
absolutely.
Correct? Right? So that electromagnetic spectrum in its center, the center of the light, right? The center 7 seals of the electromagnetic spectrum, revelations, or Allah, the light of the heavens and the earth, holds an invisible body with a head, a torso, 2 arms, and 2 legs that sacrificed itself on a cross to create you in its image. And for some reason, the leaders of religions refuse to let you know about it and see it. And I don't think that's fair. We know it exists. We've proven its existence in physics. I've proven it on my page. Like I get scientists today, like colleges are calling me like, can you come talk about this stuff to some professors at our school? Like,
educate them. Do you believe in
yeah,
like
so
Scientology and stuff?
I'll tell you this. You think about all the information I have given out to the world for free. My book, The Quantum Mechanics of Human Creation, I reached out to the Church of Scientology because I needed them to do an experiment. So the Freemasons helped me with stuff, and they wouldn't facilitate something. They're like, you need to wait. And I'm a pain in the ass. I didn't want to wait. So I reached out to somebody else. I reached out to Scientology. I was like, hey, man, here's some experiments that the Freemasons and the military have been doing for me. Here's what I've been asking them to do, and they will not finish for me. I believe the guy's name is Rick, who reached out to me. He said, just give me the information that you get with blah, 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 blah. So because of him, somebody else reached out to me, and they asked, okay, what kind of thing are you looking for? I'm like, I'm looking to be able for regular people to see when a light comes from outside of, we don't know where, and into a body, right? When a sperm and an egg merge, I'm trying to show the world that signal come in. And they were like, okay, we're like, yeah, we can facilitate that at a college being done. Like we can get that lined up to where it'll be literally. I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yeah. They're like, give us some time. Like we can line all that stuff, like, make the universe line. We can align those things.
That's why.
So it happens. But they paid to grease the wheels. They greased the wheels so the world could see that. It's on YouTube. It's all over the world. Like people can go, damn, I am like when my dad's sperm and my mom's egg merged, there was a halo that formed, and then like it sent out an antenna. It basically a zinc and some other metal. We don't talk about the rest of it, or minerals. A halo forms, and that halo is an antenna that summons your consciousness. Like you can see it come in. They greased the wheels for that to happen. And then they took all of my information that I had for that and cleaned it up so that you guys could read it in that, the Quantum Mechanics of Human Creation. Scientology is the one that put that together for you guys, or for me to share.
Okay. Hey,
so you're,
go ahead.
They're just really nice to me. You know what I mean? I can ask them quite like, I got like, the guy, I think the guy Rick's name right now, and I'm not even sure if he was the one from the beginning.
Cutting out, Martin.
He's an ATP specialist. I mean, Scientology, they have a lot of people who work in the very top of genetics, the whole world. They have people in like the top of every field of science, medicine, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
So they like people are churches right now. I mean, literally have done illegal activities to get me to go to their church. Trying to use gaslighting and Stockholm syndrome to make me members of churches because my information they consider Christian. And I'm like, well, that's interesting because Scientology, it's Scientology information. I mean, it's my information, but it's put together so that Christians can claim it because Scientology was the one that cared enough to do it. So like the info, I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. But Scientology paid for that, paid for the education for me to, the education and the information for me to articulate that all correctly, and then be able to get it to the my yeah, it's very the body of light in the center, being able to articulate that stuff was it was paid for by Scientology, and they didn't ask me for any money in return. They did not claim book rights. I'm sure they have an attorney that reserved the original copies just in case I wanted to do, I don't know. I'm sure they have somebody. but you can hear me. It doesn't matter if it's grainy. But Scientology, they paid for all that. They paid for it all. Right? Scientology was like, ooh boy, or you know, you have. We understand what you're saying, and we can make it so the rest of the world does. And they didn't say, you have to be a member. We're never gonna let you go. None of that stuff. None of that stuff ever happened. Scientology. You think about this the book of quantum mechanics and a roar from the Lion of Judah. Scientology. I think it's just people I think people, when they talk about Scientology stalking them and cult stuff, it's usually a celebrity who's trying to land a new series on TV. So you think about it, if I was famous and I'm doing a pilot, which is a testing of a TV show to see if it's going to be picked up on ABC, NBC, TNT, whatever it is. If you pay attention, when people do pilot programs, sometimes they attack Scientology and their name gets all over the news, and they go, oh, this person was trying to escape Scientology. Oh well, what's this new show they're in? What's this new TV series this lady's in? And then the TV series gets picked up because the person was literally got advertising by bagging on Scientology. Literally, it's advertising. Celebrities bagging on Scientology about being stalked and forced to stay with him. It's advertising. It picks their show up. You go, oh man, you landed a freaking TV series or a movie role by bagging on Scientology, because you pick people in movies that have the potential to draw a customer, right? And that's how it works. I got my Mandalorian doll again. All of my stuff again, over and over. I do the same thing over and over. There's a lot of, I do this, and I don't know. It's like, I don't know if I'm actually doing. It's just because I have autism, so I do things over and over already. It's right now I'm stimming. This is my autistic stimming. I try, I'm just stimming. You're asking, that's a good question. But I don't know, man. I do the same thing over and over because of my autism. And if sometimes good people get stuck in that repeat or doing good things, and sometimes bad people get stuck in that repeat. And even though they might not be doing the bad thing anymore, I still speak about it because that's how you repair your brain. It's a repetitive sequence. This is literally, if you pay attention to how the military works. Yeah, Cal. A lot of members of the military, firefighters, police officers, things, they can learn a lot of stuff by following me. And I mean, just anonymously, sit back and watch. Just sit back and observe. Let's see. It won't let you on. Let's see. I don't know if I only got a few minutes, and then those of you guys, I jump around a lot. If you pay attention, there's a lot. A large group of people have many different amounts of questions. Is it gonna let you on or not?
Morning, Martin.
Oh, there you go. How you doing, sir? Here's somebody that's been in my sequences for my restarts over and over.
You're doing good. I hope it seems like you're coming up on that repetition that's not so good, but I think you'll be fine.
I see. I'm coming up on the part of the repetition that you witnessed that's not so good. uh, what is the benefit of having me do a repetition that you've witnessed but don't speak about, that's not so good, so that other people can watch bad things happen? What's the benefit of putting me in these repetitions where bad things happen so a large amount of people can see how that works? I don't understand it, but and maybe it won't be bad this time. Maybe what you're talking about, you're coming up on the part of the repetition that's not so good. Maybe it won't be bad this time. Maybe the world will see
I think it'll be
a better outcome.
I don't think it's going to be as bad as it has been. Yeah, but guess what, Martin?
Yeah.
I'm living in a trailer. What? Can you tell?
Nice.
I bought
Where did
it
you get
online,
that at, bro?
But, I moved on to a farm. I live on a farm now, and I'm like, I was thinking of some questions. Like, now that I'm living on a farm and I'm living off the grid, it's a lot easier to stay in keto and to like move. And now I'm like, now the stuff that you talk about like on Lent, how we slash and burn, like, the ashes. It's so true, because that's what we did. We were getting ready for the garden. I'm literally on Ash Wednesday. We took all the crops. We burnt everything on top. We added compost and stuff. And, we're going to start seeds coming up. And it's just so funny how everything lines up to what you were saying.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial to allow the world to understand the science parts. I talk about, understanding the origins of these rituals and things like that. They were never meant to be hidden. It was meant to be known so that people can find that creator. Because you think about the information I have that people consider important or whatever, my line of Judah, the root of David, a muon lepton, stuff that help you. How can we say the creator doesn't have information to give the world? That body of light that you're created in the image of. Why aren't you allowed to see it? Why are men concerned what it will tell you? And if other men are concerned that you might receive a message from it, wouldn't you go, well, why don't they want me to hear that message?
Yeah.
Why don't they want me to receive it? And like you're talking about Ash Wednesday, Lent and all that. I think it's about time the entire world was allowed to understand the devices that Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and all religions at the top used to see their God, Son of God, or Messenger of God. It would be so beneficial for the whole world to go, hey, wait, there is a body of light, right? Instead of going, atheist, we have no proof of a body of light. It doesn't exist. There's no proof. You can literally just give it to the world, and then there'd never be an atheist that they can't. Their argument's null and void. To go, okay, it exists, and then you get atheists going, if it exists, and this is the best part, if it exists, and there are atheists, they go, okay, here it is. Here's the body of light. This is how you see it. You let them see it. Maybe those atheists will get a message from God and become the next big champion of God in the world.
I have a question though. Besides, like the information that's rained down from the body of light, right? Is that just the energy that is transferred into does that light contain like all of the information that we need to like become like our DNA? Like, where does that information come from?
So we are made out of the light. The information comes from subatomic particles. So imagine I'm the body of light right now. Say you're a single-celled organism. I'm the body of light. In the center of the electromagnetic spectrum, just standing there. And I contain all the world's information. And now when you think about this, in physics, the electromagnetic spectrum contains the entire world's information. Everything that can be known, that was known, and is going to be known exists in the electromagnetic spectrum. So that body of light, standing in the center 7 seals of the electromagnetic spectrum, contains all information, the totality of information that exists. And then subatomic particles are raining down through it and then raining down onto the world, bringing that
So
information
is that
to
like
us.
how you talk about like Graham's number, how everything that is known and will be known is in Graham's number? Is
Yeah.
that the same thing?
Yes. So Graham's number, when Graham came up with Graham's number, he was working on, he didn't know what brought that, what could carry that number. So now we're getting somewhere. So there's this number in mathematics that's proven to exist, but they're like, we don't know what would be capable of containing that number. Well, the electromagnetic spectrum contains all information. So the electromagnetic spectrum contains Graham's number. And then the body of light is the funnel that sends portions of that information down to the world.
So without humans though, like dialing it in and like finding, okay, how do the subatomic particles that are raining down just crashing? Like, isn't there something like a law of atrophy? Like things that just crash, they continue, like you can't break a glass bottle and wait a million years and the glass bottle will turn into a bottle again. So how did...
Well, here's the thing with subatomic particles, right? My fingers right here. Look at my fingers. When they touch, right? You don't see anything being transferred between them, do you? Right? But I'm transferring sweat, bacteria, microbes, dust mites, skin particles. I'm transferring stuff though, right? Even though you can't see it, there's still information being transferred, correct? Two things cannot come into contact without passing information. So subatomic particles are raining down through you, and even though you don't recognize information being exchanged, there's still an exchange of information. It just takes a very long time.
Okay, yeah, I see, but it just seems, I mean, from what we know about physics right now, like even though information can be transferred, how can information like become something, right? So I'm not.
So how does it become something? Now we're going to get some. I would study what Albert Einstein stated. All matter is just local manifestations of energy. So you're asking how it becomes something. That would be that local manifestation of energy. Or what Sir Isaac Newton stated, nature is just fine with the transmutation of light into bodies and bodies back into light. Those are clues to lead you down the right path. They put clues. Other people pose those questions to them. Other people pose those questions to me. The answers are there, but you have to, Albert Einstein's like, I have the answer, but I'm not going to give it to you. You have to earn it. Sir Isaac Newton, I have the answer, but I'm not going to give it to you. You have to earn it. Because when you earn it, you'll understand it.
I always have to keep in mind is that the body of light, it's not just like, it's not, I don't know if conscious is the right word, but it's something more than just like, oh, that's just the sun. And it's like, it's more than just a light bulb. It's like a being.
Now I'm going to get somewhere. That light that turns into us gives us life, right? We are life, correct? It can't give us, now we're going to get somewhere in physics. They go, something can't create life without having life itself. Something can't give you consciousness without having consciousness. Go, well, what created us? Where did our consciousness come from? Light. In physics, they tell you the electromagnetic spectrum has consciousness and is a life. You cannot create life without being life. You can't create consciousness without having consciousness.
Yeah.
That is science. Those are laws of science. And they're unbreakable. So you think about it, my body, my mass is real light. My consciousness is light. Okay, so whatever gave it to me has to have life and consciousness itself per the laws of physics, per science. Well, what gave it to me?
Yeah, the light.
You get it? Yeah, so it's not like just a light bulb. It's our sliver of consciousness came from it, meaning it's a larger, its consciousness is too big for us to even fathom. Its life is too great for us to even fathom. It gave you your small life. It gave every human on the planet Their little sliver of
Yeah,
life
that's
and
why
their little
people
sliver
say,
of consciousness.
or like maybe in the Bible, you know, it says God is always with you. God is with everybody. He's everywhere because it really is everything. Like no matter what, plants, humans, animals, it's in everything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's not in everything. It is
I
everything.
am.
Are you not made of light? Right? It's not. It's not in everything. It is. Everything is
Right.
that light. You are literally just light. In physics, what am I? I am light slowed down. What is your house? Light slowed down. The trailer you woke up in. What is
Yeah.
that? Light slowed down. I'm hurrying, baby. So
All
I
right.
got to get
You
going.
guys have
My
fun.
wife's calling me.
Bless.
God bless.